Here we go. Okay. Back to Pirki Avot. Chapter 4, Mishnah 4. Rabbi Levitas Ish Yavne said, this is wisdom from 1,800 years ago. Me'od, very, very much. Havi shafel ruach, you should be humble. A person can ask, why should I be humble? I'm smarter than everyone else. Everyone's knocking on my door, asking me questions. I'm richer than everyone else, more successful, more powerful, more popular than everyone else. I'm obviously one of the special people. Why should I be very humble? Shetikvat enosh rima. Because the hope, in other words, the end of a person is worms. Someone once said to me, a person I talked to in Israel, he said he used to be sort of a criminal over here. It was bad, and he suddenly realized one day that what is he running around looking all these pleasures? He wants to be a big shot. Everybody will be afraid of him. Said one day he realized, or somebody said to him, that when he dies, the same worm that eats him up is the same worm that's going to eat up a squirrel. Because there aren't special worms for rich people or for holy people or for this. So don't think you're a big shot. Tikvat enosh rina. The hope of man is worms. Rabbi Yochanan ben Barucha said, Kol machal Shem Shamayim b'seiter. Anyone who, as I say, desecrates the name of God, embarrasses the name of God quietly, and we'll look and see what this means. Alone, in other words, between him and one other person or something like that. Maybe he's a big rabbi, but he does things that are disgusting, are not befitting a rabbi. Beseiter, nifroim mimenu begiloi. They pay him off in a revealed way. He's paid off in public. Right? He did something. He went into the toilet and he smoked a cigarette on Shabbos. No one can see. Has no idea what's going on. It says he gets paid. Don't worry, you think it's a secret? No, eventually, another month, another year, another who knows, it'll bubble up to the surface. Echad shogig, echad mezid, b'chil l'shem. If you desecrate God's name, you shame Judaism, but it doesn't make any difference if you did it by accident or you did it on purpose. Nobody sees. Nobody cares about your motivation. Right? We're talking about what the people think. Nothing cares about your motivation. What was the reason for it? Right? A person, you go into a not kosher restaurant or something, and you just go to make a phone call. So, you have to make it very, very clear and obvious that the only reason you're going in is for a phone call. You have to be very clear. There were big rabbis that they would not go into a church or a reformed synagogue, even to get out of the cold, to get out of the other thing, because it looks bad. Good, whether you're doing it by accident, whether you're doing it on purpose, people saw you go in, it's a bad thing. Let's have a look at Barcelona. You have to be very, very humble, even though Shebashar Midos and other character traits, you have to be, it's a good thing to be in the middle, right? Not to be too rich, not to be too poor, not to be too stingy, not to be too generous, not to be too happy, not to be too serious. But in egotism, haughtiness, it's not so. You have to take the ultimate level of, how do you say, lowness, shiflas ruach, because shagaiva, egotism, is disgusting very much. And even people like King David, that he was a king, or Moses, that he was the leader, it says that the essence of their personality was that they were humble. They realized that everything they had was just from God, And therefore, they were always consulting the law books to see if this is really what God wants. They didn't want to do anything on their own. But and also, the majority of people, nichshalim, they trip up in this sin of egotism. And right? People won't separate from you, right? They'll see that you're a big egotist, and people will learn from you. So therefore, therefore, you have to be very, very careful from egotism. Very careful. Here, I think maybe I explained this wrong. I think it means that most people trip up in egotism and they don't separate themselves from egotism, not from him. It's a very, very easy fault, a trap to fall into, to the degree that it says that the Baal Shem Tov, right before he died, he said the sentence from Psalms, Al Taveinu Regel Gaiva. I hope I'm not egotistic. In other words, he would, one moment before he died, he'd say, right, I made it. The person always has to think that as much as he has accomplished and coming close to the truth, he has an infinite more to do. On one hand, that should make him very happy of what he has done, but it should also empower him to let him know that he's got a good reason to wake up tomorrow morning. He's got a lot more to do. Right? Never think you've reached the top. Okay, my friends, that's it for today. God willing, tomorrow is Friday. We will finish off the Sikha, the Sikha of the Rebbe that we started at the Var Malchut, and maybe we'll do an extra one because we don't have much more to go. Have a good day with Mashiach now, and see you all, God willing, tomorrow.